Hi everyone, I'm Joe, the host of this channel, and I'm making a video today to talk to you about my Flutter and Dart development setup using Emacs, Eglot, language server technologies, and TreeSitter. This is a really powerful development setup, and I wanted to showcase to you how to achieve this, how to use it, what are the caveats, and how nice it is to use. So why don't we get started? So I'm going to be showcasing a project of mine, a pet project of mine, Wikimusic, which is a closed community for music sharing. And this is a front end completely made with Flutter. So maybe I can have a little showcase of Wikimusic for you first. If you want to skip to right to the Nix development setup and Emacs configurations, see the description below, please. So let me just show you Wikimusic for a second. So we can open here, go to Wikimusic. Feel free to email me if you want to join this community. I would be happy to welcome you to it. So as you can see, this looks really like a native app. That's thanks to Flutter. It's wonderful type-safe code, and I'm very happy about it. So Wikimusic makes use of a backend written in Haskell and a frontend written in Flutter. And let me just show you a little bit how my development setup works. So what I pretty much do is open my good old trusty Emacs and open my project, Music UI. You can find links for everything in the description, or if I'm missing something, please feel free to comment. I will add it. So as you can see, this is a little bit the project structure that I get, that I usually make for my Flutter projects. Maybe the strangest part for some of you will be the flake.nix and the flake log. And this is what ensures that it becomes a reproducible build, that I get a nice integration with my IDE, with Emacs, and with the language server. So this flake is a little more complicated than some of the flakes you might find out there, but it's very, very reliable and very configurable. So as you can see, I'm supporting all architectures. I'm supporting specific platform tools for Android, specific versions. So it's quite powerful how you can declare your configurations here and share them. Here I set also some environment variables for my development setup. I install certain programs for my development setup, like Flutter, like JDK 17, and I have a small hook here to help with getting dependencies for Dart. So feel free to look at my project. As I said, I put a link in the description. So I want to show you how it works on a live coding session, and how the code completion wonderfully works and code actions. So let's get right down to it. So what I do is pretty much load the flake per project into my IDE. So for that, I need to turn on direnv mode. I have it bound to this prefix, but you can just configure it the way you like. So I just turn it on, and as you can see, a lot of environment variables have been automatically set up for me. And what this means is that opening any Dart file now should trigger, as you can see, it triggered the Eglot Dart SDK server. So what this means is I have a trigger set up in my Emacs configuration that whenever I open a Dart file, we will check if we can possibly start the Dart language server. So that's what happened here. One of the caveats, let's get right down to it. One of the caveats that I find is that I have to load consult before I load the Eglot server. So there is some mismatch, some incompatibility, which it's kind of flaky in the beginning, but once you get used to it, you know how to work around it, and I'm actively looking for ways to work around it and improve it and help the community. So you can see some Dart code here. So how I fix it is doing alt dot, so consult gets loaded by consult go to definition. So now it gets loaded, and it seems to me like this helps a lot, and this makes it work. So it now timed out, and that's to be expected. So what I do now is reconnect, Eglot reconnect, and it will now work. So if I now move forward, you will see my Eglot server is working fine. So when I do dot, for example, I get code completions, and that's really nice, and they work really reliably, and I have never had it crash. So I can only say, like, it begins a little flaky, but once you have it working, it's really reliable. As you can see, I also have some inlay hints, so I get some very nice hints from the IDE, like from ARGB, for example, is a method that receives ARGB values in int, but it's a very nice guiding and helpful tool. It also gives you some type inference, so I really can't complain. It's working very nicely for me, and I hope it also works nicely for you. A lot of things you can do with this. I mean, pretty much all the refactoring works, all the go to definition works, renaming things. So it's a very nice, powerful setup. How does this look like in Nix? It's pretty simple. So I will add a link for my dot files as well, so you can find it there. Let me open it up. So as you can see, one of the simple things you have to do is add the Dart language server for Dart mode. So when you can configure Eglot to pretty much work with any language that supports the LSP protocol. And here I pass some custom flags to it. So this is one of the things you need to configure. Then, yeah, I have some more preferences for Eglot, which you might have some different settings, but these are my settings. What I also do is install the Flutter mode, because this allows us to have some very nice helper commands, like as you can see here, Flutter run or hot reload, Flutter help, Flutter layers, Flutter detach, inspector. So there's really a very nice integration thanks to this Flutter package. You can install it in your typical Emacs fashion using the use package macro. I personally do it all with Nix, but if I were let's say a regular Emacs user, I would be using use package. What I have is a Nix version of that. So the important part to remember here is to load the Flutter package after Eglot and after Dart mode. Dart mode is also pretty straightforward to configure. You should load it after Eglot. And I set up here to show line numbers and pretty much to only load whenever we open Dart files. So that's pretty much it. So if you have Eglot, which is built into Emacs in the latest versions, and if you have these two packages, you should be good to go. The interesting part is you can have like really different Dart versions and Flutter versions per project if you use the flake approach. I would really recommend that you take a look at my repo and that you use this flake, because it really will help you do some reproducible builds of your Flutter projects. So as a last bonus, I can show you a little bit my makefile, which also contains some nice helpers to run Flutter projects in several different ways. So you can run it for the web, as you know, you can run it for Android, you can run it for Linux. So please take a look, let me know what you thought of this video, let me know if I can shed some more light into some aspects of this, and thanks for watching.